Good evening, the world. Welcome to another powerful episode of People Who Inspire. Today, I am excited to bring you on board on our April series. And this is going to be featuring incredible individuals. But first of all, our guest today is one who you will love to listen to. So, this platform is designed to connect you with visionary leaders, industry experts, and change makers who are shaping the world. And this is the PWI Spotlight series, where we dive deep into the journeys of those making a real impact, tangible, substantial impact in their communities, industries, and beyond. Today, like I said, we have an incredible individual or guest who is by name Cristina Maldonado, all the way from Portugal, just like the name sound, right? She is a leadership development and organizational culture consultant, and she's worked with leaders at all levels, different industries, different countries, different languages, and met all kinds of great leaders from around the world. Of course, helping them to unlock their full potential and drive meaningful change. And that is certainly what we want to unravel today and learn from her. And our conversation today will be centered around the butterfly effects of leadership. Small actions, big impact. Small actions, big impact. Expecting or exploring how young people can cultivate leadership skills and make a difference no matter where they are, whether in Ghana, in Nigeria, in any part of Africa, or anywhere in the world. How can small actions lead to big impact? You want to understand that, right? Let's go ahead and create a watch party. Invite a friend, drop a fire emoji in the comments or in the chat, and share where you are joining from and tag a friend who needs to hear this. Let's get started. And of course, let's officially welcome Miss Cristina. Miss Cristina, you're welcome. You're welcome.
Hello, Emmanuel. Thank you so much for having me here today. It's a true pleasure and a privilege to be one of your guests. I would like to commend you on your amazing project to bringing those voices to the world, inspiring people. And it actually aligns with my butterfly effect motto. Thank you so much. And let's see if we can make some butterfly effect here today with those who are watching and listening to us. Thank you so much.
Absolutely, absolutely, absolutely. It's really great to have you on board. Tell us a little bit about you and some of the things you do.
So a bit about me. You already know my name, Cristina. I work with people and organizations from all around the world. And I was based in Africa for almost 9 years, what which also gave me the opportunity to know different cultures, to live so many adventures, and to interact with so many different people, different social, cultural, religious backgrounds. So it gave me this amazing experience. Nowadays, I work as a consultant and also as a mentor for MIT professional education programs, which also gives me this amazing opportunity to deal and interact with people from the most diverse backgrounds, cultural, social, religious, different backgrounds, which is amazing. And yeah, it's an amazing life journey, actually.
Wonderful, 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 wonderful. So, our opening conversation will be centered around your leadership journey, right? Number one, what inspired you to focus on leadership development and organizational culture? What inspired it?
So what actually inspired me, it I cannot say that it was something in particular. It was I've always been passionate about people. I've always been passionate about communication, and I've always been passionate about teams and organizations and how they work, how the systems interact between them. And so when I went to marketing, to my marketing degree, I got very interesting topics there. I learned a lot about systems and about leadership, about communication, about organizations. And I found out that that was something that I was really passionate about. And then getting into all the organizations that I have been through all my life, understanding the impact that leaders, even my own bosses, the ones I had, the good, the bad, understanding the impact that they had in people's performance, people's behaviors. It's something that really passionate. I've always been passionate about. And then when I went to Mozambique, I had this amazing opportunity to start working with this leadership and organizational development company. They are American. And so it's been something that I have always been drawn to. And I usually say that I'm really blessed because from a very early stage, I could find my purpose, my life passion. So I've always been very close to these topics. And I think it's important that people find their purpose, that people find what they are passionate about and follow that path. I think it's what drawn me. People, communication, people like you. That's what draws me. So, what drawn me into leadership and organizations? I think it's something that I have always been passionate about. People, communication, the way they interact, and the systems within organizations. And also, I've always been very curious about, and I've always questioned myself about the impact that my bosses had on me, the good, the bad ones, and also on other teams, as I used to try to understand the impact that people and leaders mainly had on their team's behaviors and performance. So I think I can't say that it was a specific moment. I think it's something that I have always been very passionate about because I'm very curious, and I've always been very curious about people, and behaviors and why they do what they do and why they think the way they do. So I think it's something that I have always been very curious about the people that I reported to what I've always worked very close to CEOs and to top management, top leadership. And I can't say it was a specific moment. I can say that it's something that always made me think. So, and then I went to look for more information. I did MBAs on coaching. I tried to study more to understand people basically, and that's how I got into this butterfly effect. So it's been a life journey actually. And when I went to Mozambique, I had this amazing opportunity to work uh, with an American company that they had an office there. So I had this amazing opportunity to work with them, and they are leaders in this field of leadership, organizational development, personal development, and all those content. Yeah, I was very, very fortunate to start working with them, and since then, it never stopped.
Impressive. 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 All right, my second question is, I mean, it's still connect with the first one. And it simply, was there kind of a defining moment in your journey that shifted how you saw leadership as an individual?
So, so a defining moment on the way I saw leadership. I had several. I worked with with CEOs and other top leadership uh, managers and leaders, and I had several. And I've always been very aware on the way leadership can definitely impact teams' behaviors. So I could tell you so many stories about the bad leaders that I had to deal with, which were people that was not very good on communication, self-centered, even narcissistic, um, people who only looked for their own interests, that they had their own agendas going on. They didn't care about their people. And I also had amazing people that I have worked with, and I can tell you someone that really shaped the way I see good leaders. It was a CEO from an international company that I helped. I was part of the team who built the business here in Portugal many years ago. I was on my 20s, so almost 30 years ago, something like that. And that gentleman, he was the most amazing leader. He looked after his people. He really brought up the best in us, and he could really see our potential, and he would give us space to grow and to learn and to shine and to show our own contributions. And so he was a very human leader. And so I think he was a great role model for me, someone like I could look up to, and someone I could understand that by putting those qualities in place, I could be a good leader as well. So there were several moments. And even when I started my own company and then working with teams like in Mozambique, I always tried to bring the good qualities of the leaders that I have worked with. And so not being afraid of having other people shining and showing their value and giving the stage to others. It's amazing to see people blossom. So I think uh, I had several situations. I had several people that I have worked with, and I had several shifting moments along my life. And I think that's how it happens to all of us, right? So we have people that influences us, and we choose our own role models. And so, yeah.
Wow. Wow, impressive. But my final on your journey is very simple, but also requires a lot of, you know, a lot of thinking and a lot of reflection. So this is really, what was a major challenge you faced as a young leader, and how did you overcome it? Now, as somebody who has over 30 plus years experience in the industry, what is that one challenge you've ever faced that really was a big adversity, and how did you overcome it, for the benefit of those listening, especially young people who are going into the job market?
So, um, as a young leader, yeah, I had this leader that I had to report to, and honestly, he seemed like a good person, but he wasn't. So he was doing so many things um, in the back in the background that we didn't know about, and he was fired overnight, literally. So one day we woke up and we had these text messages from the suite's management team. They were coming to Portugal and they were already here, and they fired those leaders like overnight. It was him and another one. So, and he was my direct report. I reported directly to him. And I had to overcome that because they, they, honestly, they thought that I knew all that he was doing, and I didn't, because I worked directly with him. I was his right arm, as if you can say so. So it was really hard for me to understand that if you get drawn along someone that you admired and that you worked so close with and you didn't know that person. So for me, it was a very turning point in terms of my work philosophy. Be transparent, work with ethic, don't deceive people, and honestly, don't put your own agenda in up front of the group and the team and the company and the goals that we want to achieve. So I had to stand up for myself. I had to prove that I had nothing to do with whatever he was doing. And it was a very interesting moment in my career because I had to really stand up for myself and make my voice be heard. I was young. I was a young executive, so honestly, it was like a turning point in my career. I overcame it by being transparent, being honest, being me, being me. It wasn't easy. My job was put at risk, and I really needed it back then. So, yeah, I overcame it by being honest, transparent, and being me, basically, and proving that I didn't play with my own agenda or somebody else's agenda. Yeah, so it was sometimes as young leaders we face these stepping stones, right? We don't know. Sometimes we really don't know who we are working with, and it can be you can feel yourself as deceived and betrayed, and we need to have a very strong self core and self image to understand that it's not personal. It was not an easy time.
Wonderful, wonderful. Thank you so much for sharing. All right, let's break the ice a little bit. Um, let's officially define the topic, the butterfly effect of leadership. You want to talk to us about the butterfly effect? What is that?
So the butterfly effect, it's when, like, you know, the saying, the spreading of the wings of a butterfly, for instance, in Japan, can generate a tsunami on the other side of the world. So what this actually means is that the tiniest change within a system, the tiniest change in an element of a system can generate a huge transformation in the entire system. So when we talk about leadership and when we talk about culture and organizations, this butterfly effect is actually what transformation can you bring to an entire organization if you support leadership, going for these sometimes small, sometimes major changes within their own, the way they lead their people, the way they talk, and the way they act, the way they share the vision on a clear manner, the way they make feel people, the way they make people feel that they are really actually part of something bigger than them. And honestly, I can give you a very recent example. I have been doing these mentorship sessions with the leadership of a big company, and just by sharing these sessions with them, and by making them understand that the way they communicate, the way they put their values in place can be improved, it's already bringing changes in the way they manage the company and in the way they lead their teams. So they are already thinking about transforming a lot of things, but just because they became aware of personally their own style, and leadership impact behaviors. So people adopt their behavior according to their leadership. And so, what is the impact that a leader has in their teams? And so, this is bringing this butterfly effect to this to leadership. What are you doing? What is the impact of your actions? And how can you change whatever you do? Even your mindset, what's behind, what's beneath your mindset? What are your beliefs? Why do you believe that by doing what you do the way you do will bring you the best results? Sometimes people believe that their actions are bringing the best results, but they are not. So going deeper in this mindset structure, going deeper, understanding the values, understanding the beliefs, understanding even the emotions. Leadership is a very lonely position in companies. So how can we turn this around? And by, as you said, small actions, how can we bring a major impact on a team? So this is a bit of what the butterfly effect really means.
Wow. Wow. That's really illuminating. So let's talk about leadership for the next generation. Leadership for the next generation. I mean, many young people want to lead, but oftentimes feel unqualified. What's your advice to them?
So first and foremost, my advice to them would be work on your self leadership, because to be a leader does not mean that exactly, and mainly from a very young age, that you will get into a company and automatically jump into some leadership position. So there is this author that I really like, and it's kind of some guiding books that I have in my life. And he's Robin Sharma, and he has this amazing book called The Leader with No Title. And what does it mean? It means that we need to look at ourselves as leaders within our lives, within our families, friends, communities, social groups. And what does it mean? We need to understand what is the core concept of leadership. And the core concept of leadership, why does leadership really exist? How is it put in place? It's by improving people's lives. So the best leaders in any company are the ones that really look after their people. So how can you improve your own life, and how can you improve people's lives around you by supporting them, by being a good listener, by trying to understand how can you fulfill their needs. And basically, when I say that leadership is to improve people's lives, is basically how can you bring the best out of people around you, helping them, supporting them their to achieve their dreams, and making them achieve their potential and their best version of themselves. So I would advise mainly and firstly to look at yourself and what do you do in your daily life? How do you put this leadership concept in place on a daily basis? And it, as I said, you have in companies, you have formal leadership and then you have the informal leaders. Why do people follow someone that sometimes don't even have the position, and why do not they follow other people? Because they feel that being around that person, their lives are going to be better somehow. So my first advice for these young people would be definitely to to support their people becoming the best version of themselves. And this also means like encouraging them to study, to grow, to know more, to learn more, and to be better persons and to be better professionals. So it should start at home. That's my first advice.
Wow. Thank you so much. And to any young person listening now, those are really great advice that could help you become a confident, competent leader of your generation. All right, so Christina, if you could give the next generation of leaders three must have leadership skills, what would they be?
So three leadership skills for from our young generation. Um, there is this saying that so the best professionals nowadays are the ones that are keen to unlearn, to relearn. So we need to, for this young generation, I would, as leaders, if you want to become great leaders, and based on what I see in these young people, first develop your interpersonal relationship skills, because due to several social, economical circumstances, these young people are disconnected from others. They live inside their phones. I call them the TikTok generation, and TikTok and Instagram and Facebook and whatever platform or whatever social media you dive into, that is not real life. So the first skill is to build up your interpersonal relationship skills. How can you really deeply connect with others? And also being curious. We never know it all. So another thing that I perceive in this young generation is a bit of lack of curiosity about the world, about our reality, about life, you know. So be curious, connect with others, and never stop learning. Never stop learning. So because those skills will take you to the other skills that you need nowadays within any kind of organization to be successful, like being curious, develop active and intuitive listening, become someone that really develops empathy, which is something that really lacks people today. So, empathy, kindness, generosity, um, being open to the other, and step out of your own shells. So, I would say that some of those are the main personal features or characteristics that you should have to start your own path as a great leader. And as I said before, being a leader is not just being in an organization with the title, is how do you mobilize people around you, your friends, your family, your how do you make yourself be heard, and how do you listen to others. So yeah, some of these skills are the key skills for the future actually, and they are fundamental for any human interaction. So those are some of the key things to be developed.
Very important. The three of them are really essential, and I really would love to advise any young person watching right now to make the best of those three skills. All right, so but what are some practical ways young people can start leading today, even without a title?
uh, yeah, as I said, the main thing is to understand that if you get into any kind of organization, you should, like, there are some things like being brave, and being brave is taking risks. Is also when you get into an organization, being brave, even to be quiet to learn. you know Sometimes we have, when we are young, we have this energy that we want to get into a place and change everything and be. Sometimes we need to stand still, to be quiet, and to listen and to learn from the elders. And nowadays I feel that people don't value the elders' stories and advices and experience. So being courageous to understand that there is a path that we need to follow, also understanding that when we are young, we can have a lot of knowledge because we went to school, we studied, and honestly, we think we know it all. We don't. And there is something that only comes with age, which is maturity. So to start to lead, like develop things like courage, also vulnerability. We need to be vulnerable so that we can open to others, to make them know, okay, I don't know what I don't know, I don't see what I don't see, so I haven't lived what I didn't live. So it's vulnerability is not a fragility. Vulnerability is not a weakness, it's a strength. So when you open to others and when you ask for help, when you say, I don't know how to do this, when you don't procrastinate, you act and you learn and you grow. So if you want to start leading today, be brave, take your own risks, but also be vulnerable and ask for help, because that's how we grow and that's how we learn. And also being humble. And being humble, this humility means that acknowledging that I don't know what I don't know, I don't see what I don't see. It will, being humble will put you on that place of being honest, saying, expressing your needs, and asking for help and asking for advice. So these are key things to open the doors for a good leadership. Okay. And also being like having be a fast thinker, be a problem solver, look for solutions, um, support others. So when you get into a company, understanding that you need to start from the basics so that you can understand how the business works, what's in there, what are the challenges that people that have certain positions from the basis, what are their challenges, what are they struggling with. So we need to walk the walk, and by this I mean start from the beginning, and that's okay. That's okay, because then it's how you grow, how you climb the organizational ladder with knowledge and maturity and consistency. And so don't want to jump steps, uh, because then you will miss something, you will be lacking something that you should have learned along the way. And listen to the elders also, it's good. Like older people, for some reason, they have this life experience, they share their experiences, they can share their knowledge, and it's how it has been since the beginning of times, right? The elders telling the stories to the youngest. So learning and wanting to learn and to listen, that's how you can start leading and treating others the way you want to be treated. It's really important as well.
Amazing, 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 amazing. Wow, thank you so much. Let's take a quick break, and I would love for someone watching right now to share the link with somebody and invite them to enjoy and be inspired by this amazing discussion and Christina sharing her journey and stories. And of course, the butterfly effect of leadership. I'm coming back to that side. So you talk about this a lot. Of course, you've given us a good definition, but can you share a story where one small leadership action led to a big transformation?
So, as I mentioned before, I have a very recent example of this leadership team that really wanted to improve their interaction with their teams. So it's when leaders want to communicate better, when they want to bring a clear vision, they want to find a common ground for their understanding what is the vision, the mission, and the values of their own company, and cascade that down to their teams. So recently, by mentoring these leaders, it's a team of 4 leaders. They are actually taking action into, for instance, putting in place an innovation department, they started to uh, they began to have this contest amongst the company. They have 3,000 people working there. So they have this innovation contest where people can bring their own ideas for improvement for whatever they do. So by putting this in place, they started to listen to their people. And it's not just listening, is what do you do with that? So they started to implement, and we are actually working on that. They started to implement these service ambassadors amongst their people, like picking up people that represent the best practices, the best behaviors in terms of their values. So they are empowering their people. They started to listen to them, and they are actually making the changes they need to make people feel that they belong and they bring a contribution. So, and this is just by having 3 or 4 mentorship sessions with them, and they acknowledge it. But also, the butterfly effect only works if people, if the leadership acknowledges their role in building these better organizational cultures, more constructive, where people feel that they can grow. That it's the leadership that has to do the job. It's the leadership that has to do the work to promote that environment. So this is my last example, and I had a session with them today. So yeah, it's amazing when they find the willingness to invest, not just in terms of, not just financially, but also to invest their time, their will, their strengths in that. It's amazing to watch. Yes, actually.
Wow. And how can you, I mean, how can young people, create their own ripple effect in leadership? Because it sounds great, but how can a young person watching this right now start somewhere creating their own ripple effect in leadership?
As I said, start at home. And I know amazing young people who have this willingness to actually make the difference. So when you really, really want to make a difference in your society, in your communities, when you really, really want to bring solutions to the problems that you face in your daily lives, so having this sense of purpose, having this sense of contribution, it's how you can start rippling the butterfly effect. Is what are you doing by yourself and for others without expecting retribution or without expecting a payback or being recognized, because some things we should do in life just because that's the way we are. And so this willingness to make a difference, to bring solutions to your society, to your community, being an entrepreneur, um, building up startups with your group of friends and really making a positive impact, that's how you start the butterfly effect. And it doesn't have to be big things, it can be tiny changes, sometimes even helping children in your local school, you know. Um, who knows, helping the elderly, doing small actions that are based on a purpose and that really reflect your generosity and kindness and this sense of purpose. I know why I'm doing it. So this is the basics. This is the starting point. And then when you go into a company, like finding your own purpose, align it with the purpose of the company so that you know why you're going there every single day. And how can you make the world a better place every single day? That's how you can start your own butterfly effect and start rippling it. Yeah. So that's one way of doing it.
Wow, amazing. But I often hear people talk about leadership in many expressions. But one thing that I would love to understand is how to overcome leadership barriers. We have we had the opportunity of hosting about three guests before you, and from Joanna to Toby Wood to Michael Adati as of last week. And each one seemed to have a great, tip given to young people on how they can overcome the leadership barriers. And one that kept on coming over and over again is imposter syndrome. Of course, it holds many young people or many young leaders back in life. It stalls progress. It's a stagnation. It's a big barrier. Have you ever faced it? And how did you push through yourself?
So the imposter's syndrome is something that can really hold you back, and that is based on something that is deeply rooted in people. So the imposter syndrome means that you feel that you are not up to the task. It's related to your inner talk and self-image that generates your performance. And by this I mean, if you don't believe that you can do it, if you don't believe that you deserve the opportunity, if you don't believe that you are the best person for that position or for whatever you are assigned to, if you don't believe it within yourself, you will not see yourself doing it. So inner talk that generates your self-image. And human beings, we don't lie to ourselves. So we can lie to others, but we do not lie to ourselves. And for this, I mean, if I really don't believe in something, I will act and behave accordingly. And so the imposter's syndrome comes from here, from your self-image and your self-talk, inner talk. So, and that will generate the performance, meaning I will not do things that I don't believe in. So to overcome this, you need to believe, or even if you don't believe that you can do it, you need to believe that you can learn it. And sometimes we don't believe in ourselves, but we should believe in the voices around us that somehow sees us in a different way, in good lenses, as I usually say. Like, listen to the people who believe in you, even if you don't, because they wouldn't lie to you. So I already faced it back in the days when I was younger. And that shifted one day when a dear colleague of mine told me that, Cristina, you don't need to prove yourself all the time. And I thought, wow, so you don't need to prove yourself to others. You don't even need to prove yourself to yourself. You just need to build a strong belief system that tells you that even if I don't know, I know I can learn. And if other people believed in you to put you in whatever position you are, so at least believe in that people. Because leaders, they are not dumb. And if people choose you to do something, it's because they see something in you that you might not be seeing. So a way to overcome the imposter syndrome is to believe that if I don't see it in myself, some other people saw it. So it might be there. It must be there. Whatever good characteristics you have for the job or for the assignment of the project or whatever. So, and there is this great way of overcoming it, which is fake it until you be it. So act as you are that, and your mind will absorb it and your mind will process it, and it will come the day that you are the best version of yourself, and it will be part of you. So the best way to overcome, and how I did it, was listening to others and starting to look for those things within myself that I couldn't see, but people around me kept telling me that I had. So look for the evidence within you, and change your self-talk to a positive one. And this means, even if I don't know what to do, I can learn, I can replicate, I can watch others and mimic and do whatever they do, and you will make it, I'm sure. Take it until you be it. That's the best advice I can give you.
Wow. My second question on overcoming leadership barriers would be, what's a common leadership myth that needs to be debunked today?
The strongest leadership myth that needs to be debunked is the myth of the superhero. People have this perception that being a leader is to be like kind of this superhero, that a leader needs to know everything. They are the best on doing everything. They solve all the problems in the world. They are strong. They don't cry. They don't feel their own vulnerabilities. They are not weak. They are not people. They are kind of superheroes. So leaders are not superheroes. They are people. They are ordinary people that have the same fears, the same emotions, the same struggles as anybody else. So don't build up this image of yourself that you cannot show who you are, because you need to be this kind of superhero. So the superhero syndrome is the strongest myth that needs to be debunked. Leaders are people, just as you are. And as I usually say, we are only humans after all, right? So leaders, you are like the people we are talking to today, you are a simple, amazing human being with all that comes with that. So just like remember, being a leader is being human, not a superhero.
Thank you very much. That's an eye opener. So, if someone listening is afraid to, step up as a leader, what's your best advice right now for them?
So to step out as a good leader, and like connecting all the dots from what we have been talking about up to now, is actually to step to show you your true colors, show who you are, being authentic, being true to yourself, being true to others, being honest, being transparent, and being you, because that's what people look for. And we are not all the same, we are all different. So there are as many truths in the world as many people we have in the world. So we are all right, we are all wrong. Good people do bad things, even if we don't want to. So be you, be your true you. Apologizing when we have to, acknowledging that we were wrong when we were wrong, incorporating other people's truths, listening to them. So to step out as a good leader is to be yourself and to open the space for others to be themselves. and build this kind of these relationships based on respect, on acknowledging that other people are also right. Don't try to prove them don't try to prove them wrong by proving that you are right. Listen to people, listen to what they have to say, listen to their own truths, because we learn from each other. So, and as I said, we don't know it all. So honestly, to step out as a true leader is to bring the best out of you, and be all those things. Be vulnerable, be humble, ask questions, be curious, um, let other people speak out their voices, because when we shut up someone, we might be missing something really important. So listen to others, develop this intuitive listening skill, which is so important. As I usually say, a good leader has people under their skin. And leadership is not about us, it's about others. It's giving ourselves to others and understanding how can we make this world a better place for them. So to step out as a good leader, I would say develop your human capabilities. And so there is a sentence that I usually leave people with, which is, we are all unique and exceptional human beings, because we are unique, because there is no one in the world like me. I'm exceptional because I can do exceptional things and I can make this difference. And I'm perfect under the dimension of all the imperfections that I have as a human being. So embrace yourself, be kind to yourself, build a positive and strong inner talk, and build this positive and strong self-image, remembering that we are not superheroes. So to step out as a leader is to accept my human condition and bring that to the world, basically.
All right, we are back from the short break, and if you just joined, this is the PWI Convo featuring the incredible Cristina Maldonado from Portugal. And today we had the opportunity to dive deep into the conversation centered around the leadership, the butterfly effect in leadership. And we are looking at small actions, big impact. Small actions, big impact. And we've had the opportunity for Cristina to explore or take us through her journey as a young leader, and also some of the lessons she's learned and some inspiration that she has drawn out of some of those experiences, and that she is sharing with us to help any young person anywhere in the world to also believe they too can persevere and be resilient and become who they are born to be. And so, in this final convo for today, we are going to, understand the importance of platforms like People Who Inspire. All right. So, why is it important, for platforms like People Who Inspire to exist, in your thoughts?
Emmanuel, that's a great question. What is the importance and the relevance of platforms like yours? Inspiring people. The title says it all. To inspire people to become great people. And so by bringing those voices that you are bringing, all your guests, these different perspectives, different professionals, different experiences, this is what really inspires people. to find their own ways. We are not the same. We should not want to be the same as others, but it's amazing to have people that makes us think, how can we progress? How is it possible to fulfill dreams? How is it possible to be what we want to be? So honestly, you are making your own butterfly effect by putting this platform together and by putting all these people uh, speaking out their experiences and their stories. So that's how we get to know what's in there in the world. And the world is so big and it's so amazing. And there is so many amazing people out there. And bringing that out is is inspiring, honestly. So, yeah, you're doing your own butterfly effect with this platform and others like this. So you are being a leader on the sense of how can you make other people's life better. It's with actions like this one. So you are being a leader in the true sense of the word. So I congratulate you, and that's why I really felt so and feel so honored to be here and to have this opportunity to be part of this community. It's incredible. So you are being a true leader and doing butterfly effect as well.
Wonderful, wonderful. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. And of course, if you are to, challenge every young person listening to this conversation, listening to us dialogue on leading a positive change, and you are to inspire them to take one simple action after this conversation, what would it be?
So what um, so we should start don't I usually say that I love the idea of having the anonymous heroes in our lives. So, to inspire you to take a first step or a first action, we need to think big, to live big, and to be great people with a major G and a major P. Um, but also, the anonymous heroes, the anonymous leaders, they do these small gestures of kindness towards others. So, and they don't think to, they don't need, they don't have the need to be like as historical leaders on the history books. We don't need to be that. I usually say that our legacy is in this world happens when we touch somebody's lives. So start by acting in a way that you touch somebody's life. Fulfill your dreams. Look for ways to fulfill your dreams. So start with small actions uh, and make them be impactful. And don't let other people tell you that you are less than you are. Don't believe in those voices. So the first action would be this: believe in yourself, make your dreams come true, find ways, be creative, find the people that can help you, build a network, get yourself into action, um, and don't listen to those who will put you down, because you are always much more than what you might think. So the first action would be start with small gestures, start with small things, become an anonymous hero to someone, uh, and always be kind, mainly to yourself. So that would be the first section I would suggest. But yeah, start by looking how can you impact your community around you. Whatever you're doing that will bring uh, this slight positive change to someone. Make someone dream. Make someone fulfill their dreams. Support someone to grow. Support someone to study more. Support your elderly. So those are the small actions that you can start doing. Be kind always.
Wow, thank you so much. But could you actually recommend a book or resource that can change how we see leadership today?
So there are so many resources. So as I said, start with your self-leadership. So I would recommend you reading the books for Robin Sharma, The Leader with No Title, and all his books are amazing and they will guide you through the basic principles of leadership. Also, it's important to know thyself. So listening to the videos or reading the books from Brené Brown, all her materials and TED Talks around boundaries, understanding emotions, understanding who you are. So I'm a huge fan of Brené Brown. You can look up for her videos. She has amazing TED Talks.
A book or any resource material available online that could be purchased somewhere, or maybe you have some that you would love to guide us to access, you could share with us, please.
So for young women in leadership and for young men in leadership wanting to become great leaders, I would suggest you to go for the Lean In webpage and book from Sheryl Sandberg. She is the former COO for Facebook, and she has this amazing movement that you can even put in place there where you are, from wherever you are watching and listening. This is the Lean In movement that supports young women to understand their role in leadership and also the role of men. So empowering women is also empowering men. I actually don't like much the word empowering. I like the word of bringing up the power, the inner power that you already have. So it means like to promote women in leadership, we also need to promote men's in positive leadership. So go for Lean In, Sheryl Sandberg, CEO of former CEO of Facebook. She has this amazing website, and you can take materials out of there, and you can start your own Lean In circles within your communities or within your companies. She has all the materials there. You can learn how to build the circles and promote them. And so I did amazing big projects based on that in the banking sector, oil and gas, and so on. So that's another amazing resource. And also Simon Sinek with the big why. Sometimes not sometimes, but most of the times we don't need to understand the how. We just need to start with the why. Why do you do what you do? What is your purpose? What kind of leader do you want to be and why? So Simon Sinek and the big why. He has amazing TED Talks and resources on the internet, and also amazing books that you can easily find on the internet. And yeah, start by those things that will help you understand yourself, knowing yourself, and also your role within within your community, your organization. Yeah, those are some of the infinite resources that you can find out there. But those are some of the ones that I follow myself. So there you go. I hope you enjoy them.
Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. I mean, Christina, this has been a powerful, exciting, insightful, impactful conversation. And I know many people watching feel inspired already. But before we wrap up, I would love for you to share your personal definition of leadership in one sentence.
As I already mentioned, it's like my personal deep belief on what real leadership is. And my personal definition on leadership is to improve other people's lives. How can you impact others in having their own? How can you impact others to have better lives? Starting by how can you support them to become better people and their better versions? So this would be my definition of leadership: to make other people's lives better, or to improve other people's lives in whatever that might mean to each one of you. So what are you doing to make my life better?
Wonderful, wonderful. But what's your one final word of encouragement for young leaders watching us right now?
A final word of encouragement is to never give up on yourself, to never give up on your dreams, to never believe that you are less than what you are, to never believe that you cannot do something because you can. And honestly, there are so many ways to fulfill our dreams. And as I usually say, if you wanted to be an astronaut and you cannot be an astronaut, in what other ways can you work, or can you bring your contribution to put the man on the space? So there are so many ways to fulfill our dreams. So never give up on your dreams. And I'm the living proof that if we stay strong, if we believe in ourselves, if we build up ourselves in learning more, getting to know more, treating people properly, becoming like the great people that we can be, you will make a huge difference in the world. So never give up on yourself and on your dreams. That's an encouragement sentence or word, if you want to, because from there you can build up your career, you can build up your path. Be strong, and don't give up on yourself.
Wow, 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 wow. Okay, I'm going to ask you one last question, and this is very, very profound, and it's simply your seven most important skill that will transform the life of any young person watching this conversation right now and help them to stay relevant from 2025 and beyond.
Okay, the seven strongest, like most meaningful skills for today's world. The first one is adaptability. That's like, I'm going to bring you some of the most looked for skills by companies in today's world. So those are the skills for the future, and you can find them by Googling and looking for the skills that employees will need in the next 5 years. So how can you become meaningful for any employer? adaptability, learning how to navigate through this complex world of today, and how can you be like adapt to new technologies, to new circumstances. So don't have a fixed mindset. It doesn't work. Adaptability. Storytelling and using data. How can you use data in a way that you can learn how to tell a story using data? It's really important. So develop your skills of storytelling, communication, persuasion, etc. So how can you use data? Because data, if you have the right story behind the data, and if you can learn how to tell the story that the data tells you, you will support leadership to get to better decision making. So it's really important. AI literacy. Don't be afraid of AI tools. Learn how to use them. Learn how to use them to help you in your work. So AI and how to use AI tools are going to be like core competency skills. So upskill yourself. Cognitive flexibility. It means that you must know how to adapt, anticipate, and lead change. Agility, learning, always questioning, being curious. That's what cognitive flexibility means. Learn to learn. It's the ultimate skill. So because technology, it becomes obsolete so fast today that we need to learn how to learn fast, quick, being adaptive, and have this fast thinker, be a fast thinker and not to be afraid to learn. Be curious, learn about digital tools, the new world. Another one is resilience. You need to be resilient. Don't let yourself get down by the stepping stones. So keep the morale high, learn from the failures, and improve yourself. So be resilient. Learning soft skills, as we mentioned before, and this is like learning how to interact with others, building meaningful relationships. And remember, businesses are here today, people, and you don't know if you're going to be there tomorrow, but if you build strong relationships, they will last forever. Learning how to manage change, so to navigate through changes, build strong communication skills, critical thinking, creative thinking, upskilling, reskilling. So yeah, and a very important one, build a very strong emotional intelligence. Learn how to deal with your emotions, not to suppress them. But remember, machines will never have emotions, only humans do. So how can you navigate through complex emotional dynamics and really cooperate and learn from others and so on? So emotional intelligence. And so interpersonal interactions, we already went through that. And be a good decision maker, having this critical thinking. So those are some of the skills. Look for on the internet for the skills employees will need in the next 5 years and become a very attractive talent to be hired and retained. That's some of the things. And as you see, they are all focused on soft skills, human relationships, emotions, because in a world that is mainly dominated by technology nowadays. People tend to forget that we need people to run the world. So that's my final advice, if you want to.
Wonderful. Thank you so much to everyone tuning in. We appreciate you. If this conversation has impacted you, let us know in the comments. Share with a friend today and follow the PWI pages on Instagram, on Facebook, on YouTube. Subscribe if you haven't done so for more inspiring conversation. To join the People Who Inspire network, you can scan this QR code that is on your screen right now to be able to be a member of these global movements. Join the People Who Inspire network again and stay connected, learn, and grow with a community of change makers. The journey doesn't end here. Your leadership story is just beginning. Christina, thank you so much. And thank you for being here.
Thank you so much for having me here today. And I really hope that we inspired and motivated, and mainly that you and me, have made a bit of this butterfly effect that spreads around the world. Thank you so much and see you next time. Bye.
Until next time, remember to continue to be a person who inspires. Small actions can create a big impact. Have a good evening.